You know, people have been asking me nonstop. Look at this, $348,000 for Jacob & Co. And take a look at this, $119,000 for the very same watch on the open market. I mean, if you ever ask me why I just can't take this brand seriously, it's because this is the equivalent of you getting a $12,000 Daytona and telling me that it resells immediately for $5,000. Try to think about that when we know that Daytona sell for 2 times their MSRP on the used market, but Jacob & Co.'s latest creation sells for 30 cents on the dollar. Guys, welcome back to Watch Trading Academy, and today we are going to be talking about something I get asked a lot from you guys, which is ultimately this brand called Jacob & Co. It's been up and coming. It was something that was very popular back then in the 90s and the early 2000s when everybody had the 4-zone Jacob & Co. It was like a very interesting diamond kind of setup watch, and it was very popular in the hip-hop community. And because of that, you could see all the rappers and all the famous hip-hop artists wearing them, and it became kind of a fad, and it kind of died off really fast. It was exciting at first, but they were making expensive watches with diamonds in them, and they were discounting them significantly, even today, but back then, to get people to wear them. And so they were cool. They definitely had a cool flair to them, but somehow, with all this time, they just still ended up being what we consider the discount model. And so the brand never really picked up steam in the way of kind of mass market, mass acceptance, and more importantly, not just acceptance, but really mass appreciation. And so today, you may have heard of this brand because it's more focused on this idea of design and jewelry at the same time that it is incredible watchmaking. You can see in their astronomy or whatever they call it line that you have different planets rotating around a tourbillon, and so they have a lot of exciting, I don't know that I would wear this stuff, but it's very exciting in design. I just think it's gaudy to some extent, but they also are famous for making the Bugatti watch. And so a lot of people have been DMing me asking me, why don't I wear a Jacob & Co. Bugatti watch? Like, regardless that it's $1 million or it's, you know, 500K because it doesn't have diamonds, whatever it is. I just get asked this question all the time. And recently I had an interview also with CRM Jewelers where we talked about this during our Watch Trading Academy virtual conference for 23. And so today I decided to answer this question literally in the open forum on YouTube here to kind of explain to you why certain watches will just never be watches that you'll end up seeing on my wrist as kind of a favorite piece or something that I feel has a lot of longevity and just value and power, right? So also remember, if you want to learn more and stay in tune with the industry, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and don't forget that we're during our Black Friday and July sale right now, so you could join Watch Trading Academy and learn how to trade watches and make an incredible profit center out of this trade by just clicking the link and joining us at 80% off. It's a pretty incredible time to learn this trade. The watch industry is booming and you need to join us for that. But let's go back to Jacob & Co. here for a second. $348,000 MSRP can be bought on the used market for roughly 30 cents on the dollar, around 100K. So this is what the norm was back in the 90s for some of these watches that weren't accepted. It is still the norm today for watches like Hublot, Ulysse Nardin, and some of these other watches that are just not special enough to get people's trust to be able to become recognized home brands. So many would argue that you have brands like this that are very limited in units and are competing with the Richard Milles of the world. But the reality is the right Richard Mille could be bought at the store for 300 grand and it'll be worth 400, 500, 600, and it will not only be limited, but will be considered a symbol, a status symbol. And it seems that with Jacob & Co., you're only hearing about them from 2 standpoints. This Astronomia watch and then their Bugatti watch, which they have tried very hard and come back out of nowhere to really push a lot of marketing around these 2 pieces. And I think rightfully so. I mean, their Astronomia watch is very interesting. It's got planets rotating, but it's also very, very large. Like, it's very thick, it's very bizarre, and I don't think that it really makes a display of status or power, but rather it's more of like, hey, I'm wearing a giant gold chain. And so if I thought about it that way, I would ask myself, like, okay, in which situations do I want to walk around wearing a giant gold chain? if that's the kind of attire I'm going for, then I'm going to probably want to wear a giant watch that looks like an Invicta, that's like 6 times the size of a normal Rolex or AP or Patek, and I'm going to want to get this attention that there's an orbital planet on my wrist. Okay, probably not a very large demographic will wear this unless it's like once in a while at a crazy event, but I think that's kind of why the brand has to discount themselves so much to be taken seriously, because the product is so unique and so specific to a very targeted audience that it can be marketed very easily to that audience, but just about it, and not really widespread to a mass audience. You can have just about anyone appreciate like a Daytona because it's normal and it's accepted in the design and it's universal in its appeal. However, a watch like this is just a little too crazy in my opinion, and that's why it's not going to ever bring that kind of dollar above MSRP for any reason. I mean, the watch just came out, it's already discounted to 30 cents. So then let's look at the Bugatti watch. Why have I resisted buying one? I think the appeal or the idea of a Bugatti watch is an exciting thing. You're one of only a few people who can afford the greatest car ever made in the world, okay, and then you go, okay, should I get the matching watch? I would be more aligned to getting the matching scooter for $2,500 than the matching watch. And here's a real reason why. You see, in the watch world, like, it's not that Jacob & Co is a bad watchmaker, has done something wrong with their watches. It's just that they're just not accepted as a status watch. And so I would rather be driving basically a Bugatti and wearing a $500,000 or $1 million RM because it fits the status of what that is, rather than getting a Bugatti watch that very few people want, that is basically discounted to 30 cents, and as a result, just to say my watch matches my car because it's got a bunch of diamonds on it, or it's got a weird engine thing in it. I mean, you know, it's like the guy that goes to car meets wearing giant Bugatti gear all over his body, like including a jacket, pants, you know, like shoes to match, instead of just wearing simply a Bugatti hat or one item that might be discreetly just mentioning that. The ideology that we have to display basically our pride for that is just completely stupid. And I think it works in the sense that it's attracted that dynamic audience. If you look on the internet, well-known individuals wear these watches because they've probably been approached by Jacob through a very clever marketing strategy to get these watches at a very low cost, and ultimately are able to wear them, and they're shown as, you're a Bugatti owner, so we're going to give you a huge discount on this. But realistically, is the watch ever going to be worth more than that discount? That is the ultimate question, because, you know, reality is, even if you ask jewelers, they're not trading hands at $1 million, even when they're listed at $1.5 million. They're trading hands at significant discounts, and so that is where the status issue comes true with Jacob & Co. as a watchmaker. But I will give them credit, they've done a great job at spreading and trying to market and trying to have a comeback, and at the very least they're innovative and trying new things. So that deserves some level of credit and some level of opportunity to say, hey, you know what? They had a dying brand, they came back and now have yet another exciting and beautiful looking watch for those that it's supposed to serve. But personally for me, unfortunately, I can't see a Bugatti watch in my near future, regardless of the price, because I just don't feel that a gigantic watch that looks like an Invicta with a ton of diamonds is something that is appealing to me personally. Now, if it's your thing, great. If it's not, then, well, the other answer they have for you is you probably don't own a Bugatti anyways. So click the link in the comments and let me know what you think. Do you think the Astronomia or the Bugatti watch is worth buying for the price tag? And do you really believe that Jacob & Co. is making a comeback, or is that a fad in marketing that is just going to die away? People said this about RM. It's been here to stay and it's done relatively well compared to all other brands. Will Jacob & Co. have their time, or has their time been up since the 2000s? Would love to hear your thoughts. Put it in the comments, and otherwise I will catch you guys next time on another video for Watch Trading Academy. But don't forget, Black Friday in July is live, so click the link in the description and join us so you can learn this incredible trade. Talk to you guys soon. as one of the most profitable watch traders in America, I get asked this question a lot. Where do you go to sell your watches? Because buying them seems to be easy, but selling them seems to be the hard part. Well, simply put, I use this tool called Grailzy. See, Grailzy.com is an auction platform where you can list watches that are high-end watches, of course, and get auction bids by real retail buyers, not just industry wholesalers or traders like in Facebook groups. This is a huge opportunity for you as a watch trader or as a watch enthusiast to sell and buy watches via this auction platform. It's safe, it's easy to use, and more importantly, they guarantee the authenticity of each and every watch, giving your buyers or sellers the peace of mind when they're doing their transactions. So make sure you check out Grailzy.com to use this incredible auction platform. And again, don't forget, I never endorse something I don't use or believe in. This has been my motto for the last 10 years, and I can't recommend Grailzy enough.
Grailzy. Buy and sell iconic timepieces.